This is tough. This is a very confusing story. But as so often happens with these story questions, it really comes down to just following instructions. Now, I'll admit, if we just look at this, there's a lot of instructions, so it seems overwhelming. But let's take it one piece at a time. Okay, so to be honest, I wouldn't even read the chunk at the beginning. I would go right into the question because I want to know what I'm looking for when I read the big chunk. So I would, start with the question because that's going to tell me what to care about. So the first piece of the question says, Little's law can be applied to any part of the store, such as a particular department or the checkout line. So what is Little's law? Well, if we go here, they tell us Little's law is this equation. Okay, now I don't know what the equation means, but I'm going to write it down because it seems important. N equals RT. Okay, first instruction followed. Check. Let's keep moving. The store owner determines that during business hours, approximately 84 shoppers per hour make a purchase. Okay, so that's probably going to go in this formula somewhere, but I don't know what NRT means. So again, I go back to this chunk at the beginning and I say, all right, 84 shoppers per hour. One of the things that's really helpful on the SAT is they always tell you units when we have these story questions. So units can be really helpful. Shoppers per minute, that seems like a thing. Okay. Now, shoppers per hour, I probably want to sub that in for R, but I need to make a change, I guess, and change that to shoppers per minute. So maybe I have to do a little sidebar here and go, okay, 84 shoppers per 1 hour, and 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So we want to divide by 60. So I'm trying to think the best way to show you guys this. Let's do times 1 hour over 60 minutes. So we're trying to do a conversion. I've done this on a number of questions before. So the hours cancel, and now we have 84 divided by 60. So let's plug it in the calculator. 84 divided by 60 means 1.4 shoppers per minute. And that's my value of R because they told me, right? So the units here helped me understand where I'm going to put this number that they're giving me, but it also showed me that there's a problem with that number, right? There's a unit issue, but we can fix it pretty easily if we're paying attention to it. So that's why the units are so helpful. They kind of just steer you right. So let's put that in for R. See, I almost put 84 after all that. 1.4, okay, that's my value of R. Let's keep going. Each of these shoppers spend an average of 5 minutes in the checkout lines. Okay, each stays in the store for an average of T minutes. So that seems like the value of T, and since that's in minutes, the unit that they give me, that seems like an okay thing to just plug in. Now, I don't really even need to read any more to know I'm probably going to need to solve for N here, but let's just see. At any time during business hours, about how many shoppers are waiting in the checkout line? Now look at N. At any one time, the number of shoppers is given by N. So the N corresponds to the thing that they're asking for. So this question really turns out to be pretty simple. We are plugging two numbers into a formula and solving for the other missing number, and that's that. And so, okay, 1.4 times 5 is 7. And that's the answer. So the advice here is no matter how crazy the story is, they have to explain it in a way that you can solve it, right? So they have to give you all the information. It's there. The instructions are there somewhere. It's just not in like a step 1, step 2, step 3 like we would want, but you can kind of force it if you just know how to just split the question apart. Notice I kind of did one thing at a time. I could have read the whole question first and then kind of sorted through it. That's fine too. But point is, just focus on the stuff that they give you. And a formula is basically an instruction. And so if they're giving you a formula, which they almost always will, that should probably be the first thing that you write down. The odds are very high that you're just going to be plugging numbers into that formula. They'll tell you where to go, and the units can really keep you organized and give you the confidence that you're probably doing the right thing because the units will match up. And so then, mathematically, this is really just about multiplying two numbers, and the calculator does it for us. So are they testing math here, or are they testing your ability to follow instructions, the latter.